My name's Andrew Butler. I work for the North American PMMS team, and I'd like to spend a few moments talking to you about our training and development. So what makes PMMS Learning Solutions unique? Well, first of all, our people. The team that we bring together have the experience to help work with your team members and really take real-life situations to anchor the learning that we present in front of them, make the theories and the situations real and far more effective in people's minds. We like to customise the training to best meet your business needs. It's not around trying to put a shrink-wrap solution in front of you and suggesting that it's a one-size-fits-all solution. It's around working to understand what your business needs and what is going to help your people the most. A part of that is the fact that we offer blended learning solutions. So whether that's looking at online training capabilities, if you have a team that's geographically spread, or whether you feel that classroom training is going to be more effective, or whether a blend of all of those helps work and maximise the value that your team drives. We also offer accredited modular learning through relationships that we have with the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply and PMAC. Our training and development would typically start with competence profiling, which is essentially a sourcing knowledge questionnaire, which has been undertaken by over 5,000 procurement and vendor management professionals globally. It allows us to baseline exactly where you are as an organisation right now, and also give an understanding of where your investment is best spent in progressing your team of people. So it's a multiple-choice web-based questionnaire covering a number of key topic areas, completed through the internet, and essentially provides a benchmark of where individuals are, as well as where roles are, where your team are, and where your organisation sits against competitors or peers within your sector. So the output would be provided at an individual level, but it can be tailored to provided at a team or regional level. And the individual would understand where they sit in each of the 9 different competency areas, where they sit within their respective organisation, and then benchmarking against our best in class within that market sector. And as we say, this provides a baseline to understand where you are right now, but also provides a mechanism for you to be able to tangibly demonstrate over 6, 12, 18, 24 months how far your team has progressed from a learning and development perspective. So we would try to identify the key enablers for effective learning and development. So that's around structure enablers in terms of defining a clear competence framework for your team to work within. From a skills development perspective, it's around a structured and consistent approach, where necessary a blended approach to maximise the effectiveness of the training. From a staff calibre and personal development perspective, it's around management plans, it's around succession planning, it's around making sure that the learning your team undertakes is targeted and focused to maximise the effect that has for your organisation moving forwards. And obviously from within that there's measurement as well, to understand that from an appraisal process, objectives, KPIs, learning and development is focused and is a part of all of the team's progression. So structure enablers, we would look to define a competence framework. We'd look to understand what you have in place as an organisation right now, whether you have something which is absolutely fantastic or now, whether it's something that you want to move, amend, develop to work forwards with. We would link that to the role descriptions that your team currently work within right now to understand whether the learning and development that they've either enjoyed historically or about to have is aligned to what you're expecting them to deliver for your organisation. And obviously link that in context of rewards and recognition as well. From a skills development perspective, a structured, modular approach. We talk about a blended learning later on in terms of we would also look to blend the learning we provide internally within your organisation with coaching and mentoring, so whether that's more senior people, whether that's wider stakeholders within the business. And it's around customising and aligning the needs to maximise the value through the methodologies. In terms of staff calibre and personal development, we do offer professional qualifications. We're aligned to a number of organisations that, through the modules of study we provide, can professionally accredit your teams. We would look to define learning plans for your team, development plans, so that they can track their progress tangibly and understand and feel where they're progressing to and where they've come from. So that vision is essential in terms of defining their success, but also helping them feel they're getting there. And vice versa, that's very much around measurement in terms of providing a structured appraisal system, understanding how the skills are aligned to the profiles of the role they're undertaking now, and understanding how we can link the learning and the development through test cases or live projects and environments that they're working on right now within your team. We very, very strongly promote a blended learning model within PMMS Consulting Group, and that's around understanding not just what your team need from a learning and development perspective, but understanding the best and most effective method to deliver that into your organisation. So that's understanding whether they're looking at technical skills development, whether they're looking at a slightly softer skills development, but then looking at the mechanism we do that. So are we looking at remote e-learning? Are we looking at WebEx conferences? Are we looking at telephone conferences, maybe ask the expert or train the trainer? Or are we looking at classroom training, where everybody in the team is pulled together into one room and real-life examples and case studies are bounced around within the context of a structured training framework? And indeed, we would often advocate a blend of all of the above to make sure that the learning is anchored and really driven home as effectively as possible. So in terms of the training development framework that PMMS would propose, we would always start with the competence profiling to understand where the baseline is now. And all of the training framework that we would work with your organisation to build is based around 4 key steps. So starting at an induction and foundation level, moving up through intermediate and advanced, and finally into leadership and executive. So this provides a real depth of training and a real depth of knowledge as people progress, as people mature into their roles. We have the ability to provide more and more advanced training to help them continue their learning and development journey. So as an example framework, something that we would typically look to work with, providing a number of different training options, so around effective negotiation, supplier management, contracts, finance, for example. And this is a case of working with you and your organisation to understand what your team needs most, so what the roles that your people are doing now, where you would like them to progress to over the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months, and understanding the training that they need to be effective in their role now and effective where they need to get to over time. And it would be a case of working through a draft framework like this to understand this is the short-term focus. Moving into the longer term, we might have specific roles taking this training path, specific teams might want to go here. And that's something that we would consider absolutely essential and fundamental to providing a really good training and development framework. So in summary, we would start with competence profiling, a baseline to be able to understand where your team is best focused from a training and development perspective. It's around understanding the key enablers for effective learning and development, understanding what you have in place now, understanding what needs to be developed to help maximise the effectiveness of that training, understanding which blended learning approach best works for you and your team, understanding not just what they need, but how to best deliver that to them and how to maximise that, and finally providing a training framework which best meets the roles and the team that you're working with right now.